50-pound note, 50-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note, 50-pound note, shifty-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note. Once upon a time in a Romance, a miracle was conceived. A note of pure perfection for currencies indeed. It was pure like soap, the financial great hope. This object of greed was a 50-pound note. He was made with his brothers. Him and many others were transported in a van and strung together like lovers. They were put into a bank with a clink and a clank and deposited in the cash machine so customers could thank. 10 minutes went by, then a man by the name of Peter, a city financial whiz kid but still a fucking cheater. I have to bloody mention, the man was causing tension, fiddling the old people by ripping off their pensions. He needed the dough so to the machine he did float. So what did he take out? A 50-pound note. Before he had to sell it, he had to feel his gullet. A helping of potato, a side dish upon it. He withdrew the note with a whistle and a hum. Then all of a sudden, his mobile phone rung. I wonder who this is. Meanwhile, there was a rude boy by the name of Johnny Slice. He called him Slice cause he slice up a man real nice. And Slice that son, he was walking on his Todd, walking around casing a joint for a man to bloody rob. He saw this sooty geezer with his mobile phone alone, so he bounced across the road with a swagger like Al Capone. Ran up real fast, punched him in his mask. Give me a little money, a little blood clot. Then Slice took his dockage, rummaged through his pockets, kicked him up the arse and told the city scum to hump it. He rummaged through his wallet, a 50 quid solid, titanium Nokia phone and a 10 bag of chronic. Now Peter's looking sad, pockets all barren. I guess the dinner's off with that girl called Sharon. Because she was easy and cause he was rich, he could flash that black Amex and lay that fat bitch. But Johnny was ecstatic, all he had to say, this proves to the critics that crime does pay. While stupid motherfuckers make 50 quid a day, I could bust 50 quid busting one short play. What? 50-pound note, 50-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note, 50-pound note, shifty-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note. Now sitting in his car was Darren, a drug baron, getting his dick sucked by the local slag back Sharon. He looked up, saw Johnny Slice like, pulled Sharon off his dick out the fucking car. You see, Slice used to work for him and owed him 20 grand. If he doesn't have the queens, he's a walking dead man. Slice pulled his knife, Darren pulled his Glock. Slice wasn't always the sharpest tool in the box. He took 2 to his chest, now he's laid out to rest. Darren kicked him in the head and said, Trump don't test. He rummaged through his pockets of Johnny the dead bloke. Eureka, 50-pound note. He left Slice on the pavement, went back to his wheels. But Sharon saw everything and shit is getting ill. He took out the Glock to exterminate the witness. Darren knew Sharon was on his fucking shit list. Things were getting nutty, he pulled out his bucky, squeezed the trigger twice but it jammed. Sharon's lucky, she pulled out the mace, squeezed the stuff in his face. In his mouth he had the taste, with the foot gave him a lace. Sharon was in shit, things were getting thick. They struggled on the floor where Sharon saw a brick. She reached for the stone with the moan and the claw, licked him in his head and once again to make sure. Fuck the sentimental, it was fundamental that Sharon left Darren with blood on his temple. Screamed out in pain, all hollering and bitching. Gave a big gasp and his body started twitching. Darren got smoked from a brick to a head. Now an angry woman's scorn has left her brother dead. The thought of the body just made the girl sick. She spat on Darren's head and said, fucking prick. Things were getting serious, dangerous and big. She went for the car keys and swiped the 50 quid. She jumped in the car, heard the sirens blazing. U-turn, backspin, skid, she's amazing. Televised police chase on the roads of Hackney. The time is running out, so she had to make it snappy. She went to Lower Clapton Road, Lee Ridge roundabout, Upper Clapton Road, screaming shout, Sharon's getting doused. It ain't getting pleasant, heavy police presence. Then she turned right on the road to Mount Pleasant. Had pain in her knee, she wanted to be free. She turned left and then right and then on a tree.
Hello?
Hey, hello,
Yeah?
Sharon?
I can't feel my legs.
I think dinner's off, I've been mugged today.
That's okay, I'm in a bit of a jam myself.
50-pound note, 50-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note, 50-pound note, shifty-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note, 50-pound note, 50-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note, 50-pound note, shifty-pound note. This is a story about a 50-pound note. How men lost hope and women got provoked. A day in the life of a 50-pound note.